While the start of R2 is exciting, it's also sad because the most loyal of all the 4 holy swords sacrificed himself to help Zero. Rest in peace, Urabe. Your sacrifice will never be forgotten. In honor of this moment, Lost Stories released a brand new Rank 3 Urabe. I mean, technically it wasn't an honors moment, but I'm saying it anyways. He's an Annihilator pilot, much like the previous Rank 2 version of Urabe that we already got. He comes with the Gekka, whose special animation mirrors his attack to roll in turn 2. I'm going to start with his second ability this time. I thought I would
mix things up a little.
While deployed, for the first 3 seconds and 20 seconds after that, Urabe
increases
the number of concurrent attacks by 1 for 20 seconds and increases his action speed by 1.52 times for 17.5 seconds. This ability mirrors what the first Urabe did with some improvements. Combine this ability with Taizo and Annie Collin, and Urabe has potential to inflict
lots and lots of damage.
Now to his second ability.
Here's where things get complicated.
Yeah.
Urabe's health reaches
0.
Then he increases damage limit by 400,000 for 1 second and attacks one enemy in range, dealing 95% of their health.
Let me break this down to you.
This ability mirrors Urabe's sacrifice in the anime. It's a suicide attack where Urabe will basically take out the enemy with himself, which reminds me of this line.
If I go down, I'm taking you with me.
And just like in the anime, Urabe will die after using this ability. The only exception to this is if you have Nunnally or Monica deployed. In that case, he won't die.
Yay!
But you can only use his ability once after deployment and will have to redeploy him to get the effect again. While I think the ability has novelty and applications like taking out enemies in the harder stages, it has
one major problem.
Because Urabe dies while using it, which means you can't get all 3 stars in any stage if this ability is activated, and he won't be usable again in Expedition mode. This kind of ruins the effect altogether. In certain niche situations like the last stage on Expedition mode or in Arena mode, then Urabe's first skill works perfectly. I especially like using him on your defending team in Arena mode because it'll mess up the melee Nightmare Frame who are forced to fight him. In that case, his ability is
so unfair. So unfair.
But
90%
of the time, his ability is
trash.
It's great that his second skill is amazing and his melee stats are impressive as well. I like this pilot and will use him in a dedicated team with other members of the 4 Holy Swords, but that first ability
pisses me off.
And now for something completely different.
Remember Carly Diesel, the MC's crazy aunt? Well, we finally got her Nightmare Frame, the Magdala, available to purchase with guild medals instead of your actual money.
Nice.
Which makes sense since we already faced his Nightmare Frame in the very first boss event before they started giving away Nightmare Frames. So we have retroactively earned this Nightmare Frame, and boy is it.
Good one.
The Magdala is a melee Nightmare Frame with the same base and skill range of a lance.
My favorite kind.
The melee attack is 300, which is amazing for a free Nightmare Frame. It attacks 2 Nightmare Frames at the same time as part of its base attack. But the special is where
Things get crazy.
the Nightmare Frame skill deals 5.5 times your attack power to 3 enemies in range.
And on top of all that,
Deals 8,000. Just joking for once, this Nightmare Frame does something different. It stuns the enemy Nightmare Frame for 3 seconds and recovers your health from the enemies you defeated with the skill, which is similar to Bradley's ability, and that's why the two
Go together.
Makes sense. Bradley and Carly are both crazy.
I don't even know where to begin here.
This Nightmare Frame is
Fantastic.
It has high attack, high defense, great range, deals heavy damage with a stunning effect, and recovers health. I don't have any complaints, and thankfully we didn't have to spend our actual money on this Nightmare Frame. This will definitely become a staple down the road, and might even replace the Percival, which saddens me, but
we have to face facts.
It's a better lance. And with that, let me know your thoughts on this new Urabe and the release of the Magdala. With the start of R2 and Lost Stories, we also got Rollo and the Vincent, and you can learn more about that in this video right here.